The world is loud. If you've made it past 25, you've realized by now that life isn't a scripted movie where the hero always gets a clean win. It's more like a chaotic street fight, where you didn't ask for the confrontation, the referee is distracted, and the person across from you seems to have a PhD in getting under your skin. Most people spend their lives like a leaf in a hurricane, blown left by a snarky comment from a coworker, blown right by a minor failure, completely at the mercy of things they can't control. But what if you were the mountain instead of the leaf? We're going to look at how to act like nothing and nobody can touch your peace, using some heavy-hitting wisdom from guys like Friedrich Nietzsche, Carl Jung, and Marcus Aurelius, but without the academic dry rot. The trap of the reactive life. Let's be honest, most of us have a massive reaction problem. You're driving to work, someone cuts you off without a blinker, and suddenly, your whole morning is fueled by spite. Or maybe your boss drops a tiny bit of feedback on a project, and you spend the next 4 hours overthinking every life choice you've made since high school. In these moments, you are literally giving your power away for free. You're handing the keys to your mental apartment to a stranger who doesn't even know your name. Friedrich Nietzsche, a guy who had plenty of reasons to be grumpy, once said, "You have your way, I have my way. As for the right way, the correct way, and the only way, it does not exist." The second you get emotional about someone else's opinion of you, you're silently agreeing that their way is more important than your peace of mind. You're basically saying, "I'll let you decide how I feel right now." That's a dangerous game. When you act as if nothing bothers you, you aren't being fake. You're just deciding that your internal state is a premium asset that isn't up for trade in exchange for someone else's drama. Why people irritate you? Why do some people bother us so much while others can just shrug them off? Why does one person's arrogance make you want to scream, but your friend just finds it funny? Carl Jung, who spent his life poking around the messy basements of the human mind, had a theory called the shadow. He believed we all have parts of ourselves we've buried, traits we think are bad or weak. Jung famously said, "Everything that irritates us about others can lead us to an understanding of ourselves." Next time someone makes your blood boil, take a second. Are they being loud and obnoxious? And maybe a tiny part of you is jealous of how much space they take up? Are they being lazy? And you're frustrated because you never let yourself rest? When someone tries to provoke you, look at them as a mirror. If you don't like what you see, don't try to break the mirror. Fix the person looking into it. By staying calm and observing why you're bothered, you stop being a victim of the interaction and start being a student of your own head. The Stoic Shield. We can't talk about being unshakable without mentioning the Stoics. Marcus Aurelius was the emperor of Rome, the most powerful man on the planet at the time. He had every reason to be stressed. He had wars to fight, plagues to manage, and a son who was, frankly, a bit of a disaster. Yet, he spent his nights writing reminders to himself on how to deal with annoying people. His big secret? You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. Think of your mind like a fortress. The world can throw stones at the walls all day long, but they only get inside if you're the one who opens the gate. Most of the things that ruin our day are outside events. You can't control the weather, you can't control the stock market, and you definitely can't control the mood of your neighbor. But you can 100% control the story you tell yourself. If you tell yourself, "This is a catastrophe," you'll feel like it is. If you tell yourself, "This is just data," you stay the boss of the situation. The art of not giving a damn, being unbothered, doesn't mean you stop caring about your family, your goals, or your dog. It means you stop caring about meaningless noise. This is selective indifference. The modern world is obsessed with outrage. We're told we need to have a heated opinion on every headline and every celebrity tweet. But Nietzsche warned us that the individual always has to struggle to keep from being overwhelmed by the tribe. The tribe wants you to be bothered. It wants you to be part of the loud, angry crowd, because that's where the noise is. Loving the chaos. Nietzsche had a concept called amor fati, the love of fate. This isn't just about tolerating the bad stuff that happens, it's about embracing it as a necessary part of the plot. When something goes wrong, the average person asks, "Why me?" They get bothered. They feel like life is picking on them. The unshakeable person says, "This is exactly what I needed to get better." Nietzsche's most famous line, "That which does not kill us makes us stronger," is often overused. But it's the core of this mindset. If you truly believe that every setback is just a workout for your resilience, how can anything truly bother you? Every annoying person is just a sparring partner helping you sharpen your focus. Every failure is just a lesson you didn't have to pay tuition for. When you stop seeing obstacles as problems and start seeing them as training, you become invincible. The approval trap. A huge reason we get worked up is that we are desperate for people to think well of us. We want the validation. But here's a reality check. Most people are so focused on their own insecurities and what they're having for lunch that they aren't even thinking about you. Jung noted, "The world will ask you who you are, and if you don't know, the world will tell you. If you don't have a solid core, you'll always be bothered by what others say. You'll be like a house with no foundation. One stiff breeze and the roof is gone." Building an unshakable mind means deciding who you are before you even leave the house. If you know you're a person of integrity, a stranger's insult has nowhere to land. It's like throwing a pebble into the ocean. The ocean doesn't even notice the splash. Move in silence. One of the most practical ways to act like nothing bothers you is to simply stop talking about what bothers you. When you vent to everyone about how mad you are, you're just keeping the fire alive. You're giving that person or situation a second life in your head. Instead, move in silence. If someone disrespects you, don't start a shouting match. Just adjust your distance. If a plan fails, don't complain to your group chat for 3 hours. Just pivot to the next plan. As Nietzsche put it, the higher we soar, the smaller we appear to those who cannot fly. As you build this mindset, people will notice. Some will try to pull you back down into the drama. They might call you cold or arrogant. Don't be bothered by that either. It's just their way of dealing with the fact that they can no longer push your buttons. The daily practice. So, how do you actually do this when life hits you in the face? The 3-second rule: when something happens that usually makes you flip out, wait 3 seconds before you say a word. In those 3 seconds, ask yourself, is this worth my energy? Usually, the answer is no. The 5-year filter: ask yourself, will this matter in 5 years? If the answer is no, give it exactly 0 minutes of your worry. Audit your circle. If your friends are constantly outraged and devastated by minor things, you'll start doing the same. Find the people who stay calm. Laugh at the absurdity. Sometimes, when everything goes wrong at once, the best thing to do is just laugh. It's the ultimate sign that you've mastered your reality. At the end of the day, being unbothered isn't about being a robot or a hermit. It's about being the master of your own soul. You are not your anger. You are not your setbacks. You are the person observing those things. The world is always going to be messy. People are always going to be difficult. But you're the mountain. The wind can howl all it wants, but you aren't going anywhere. Once you realize that nothing outside of you has the power to define you, the game is over. You've already won. Subscribe.